So Nathan, I wanted to talk to you about what's really inside. We talked a bit about cloud and so on,
right?
And about these infrastructural components. Let's get down and dirty and talk IT stuff. Okay, so take me through the components that you offer to somebody who wanted to, say, run hosted exchange up in your world. What would it look like?
Well, at Softlayer, they've got a couple choices. They can get physical hardware from us, available on demand, month-to-month billing model, and they can get the software licenses from us, or they can go down the virtual path and buy services in our cloud, based, of course, on XenServer.
Right.
And they can have, with XenServer in our cloud, they can have the billing really match their needs. So they can have it available in a month-to-month model, and they can get exactly the amount of technology they need, the exact amount of infrastructure they need in order to support their demands, so that way they can help manage their budget.
What's in the storage layer? What's the storage abstraction that's there, and what's under the hood? What's actually doing the work?
So what we do is, in our cloud environment, we provide and manage the storage for the virtual machines. And by doing the storage under our control, we have a lot more flexibility about how to provision, when we can provision. We allow customers to take templates of their virtual machines, and they can deploy those virtual machines at any of our data centers at any time they want, with any size of cloud computing instance they need as well.
And let's talk about the virtual machines themselves. So you've got XenServer in there, great, XenServer is good stuff. What's the actual server infrastructure that you guys are putting down? I mean, are these decent machines, or are they cheapo machines that can't really drive my app?
Not at all. We use Supermicro servers, and we're deploying our cloud on Nehalem and Linfield processors.
Okay, so this is the latest generation. Nehalem will be Intel Xeon 5500 and above series, right?
Correct.
And so number of virtual machines per server is going to vary based on the different virtual machine technologies, but roughly?
It all depends on what the customer needs. We sell our computing instances in cores and RAM. So if two customers need 4 cores each, then 2 customers are going to put on one piece of physical hardware with 8 physical cores. And if they only need 1 core, you might have more than one customer, one virtual machine on a physical server.
And then dynamically add storage to that as needed.
Exactly.
What's the network abstraction for isolation?
What we do is we trunk VLANs down to the physical server.
Right.
So the traffic for each customer's virtual machine is segmented using VLAN technology.
Okay. And so then you also provide a self-service interface to the customer, then go and start and stop and do all of those sorts of things to their virtual machines, correct?
Correct. We even take it one step further. We allow VNC access to the virtual machine itself, so the customer can have that keyboard video mouse sensation even with a virtual machine, not just with a physical server.
So then let's talk about the network infrastructure, and particularly VPX. Do you provide an API-based abstraction for the customer to manage their VPX too?
Softlayer has taken and given our customers the option of having an abstract view into the NetScaler VPX, where they can just have a few options if they want to manage.
So like traditional load balancing you'd expose by an API, but the more arcane web app filtering and firewall stuff would be harder?
Absolutely. Okay. And so our customers can do that through our web portal, or they can do it through an API, or they go into our web portal, they flip a switch, and they have access to the full NetScaler GUI.
Oh, I see. So you're actually giving them control of their own NetScaler.
Absolutely.
And so is that a security risk for you, that you could hand out direct control of a piece of network infrastructure to the customer?
I don't believe so. I trust our users to know what's best for them. Because if we put a global policy in place, there's no way we could design that policy to be perfect for all of our customers. So we let them have the granularity.
So what you're saying is that you're not actually giving them access to a piece of your infrastructure, it's their infrastructure, and if they screw it up, they screw it up.
Exactly.
Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, and so then how do you actually instantiate VPX? What is VPX, and how do you make it show up in your cloud?
So, the VPX virtual machine was designed to run on XenServer. Well, we've got this great XenServer cloud that we just were able to deploy NetScaler VPX on very easily and integrate it.
So just another VM for you, and you basically take network packets in and packets out, and
it's pretty much that easy.
Okay. So it's a very interesting idea that we've been hearing from some of our customers, which is this whole notion of putting the DMZ in a world like Softlayer. So here's what it would look like. You basically, instead of having a DMZ in your data center, you basically have a VPN out to your Softlayer premise, right? And that's your DMZ. And then use a NetScaler to deliver the apps to the end users who are going to the apps in the DMZ. What's on the roadmap for you guys? If I have some old bag of bits, some old version of Windows, some old Linux, and I want to get it up to your cloud and run it, can I do that?
Sure. We're looking at ways in the future to make it easier for customers to take a legacy application that's running in their data center, probably
Right.
on old, inefficient hardware, and move it up to the Softlayer, either Softlayer physical server or to the Softlayer cloud.
Okay, but you guys are a SPLA reseller for the OS layer too.
Exactly. So we can provide the licensing for that application so the customer doesn't have to bring their own license. They can come to us and get it on a more economical model.